Most people think peace begins when life becomes easy. They are wrong. Peace begins when you stop handing your inner world to everything that knocks on the door. Peace begins when you realize that your attention is not common property. Your energy is not public land. Your mind is not a marketplace where every fear, every insult, every opinion, and every demand can enter freely. Listen carefully. The world does not respect a person who does not protect what is sacred, and your peace is sacred. If you treat your peace like something cheap, life will send people who bargain with it. If you treat your attention like something free, life will send noise to consume it. If you treat your boundaries like suggestions, life will send tests until you finally understand. Nothing outside you will become respectful until something inside you becomes firm. This is a brutal truth. Many people ask why life keeps disturbing them, why people keep crossing lines, why they are always emotionally drained, why they feel used, misunderstood, controlled, and pulled apart. But they never ask the deeper question: where did I teach life that my peace can be interrupted so easily? You say you want peace, but you answer every provocation. You say you want respect, but you keep explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You say you want freedom, but one message, one tone, one silence, one criticism can still pull your mind away from its own path. You say you want discipline, but your emotions still hold the keys to your actions. This is not a reason to hate yourself. This is a place to begin training. A warrior does not become strong by blaming the battlefield. A warrior becomes strong by training the body, sharpening the mind, and guarding the heart. Your peace is not lost because the world is loud. Your peace is lost because your inner gate has been left open. Every day, things enter. Other people's opinions, old memories, unanswered messages, disrespect, comparison, fear, regret. The need to be liked, the need to be understood, the need to be chosen. They enter your mind like strangers entering a temple with muddy feet. And then you wonder why the temple feels heavy. Protect the gate. This is the first lesson. Protect your attention. Your attention is the doorway of your life. Whatever holds your attention holds your energy. Whatever holds your energy slowly shapes your character. Whatever shapes your character shapes your destiny. Do not say, "It is just a thought." A thought repeated becomes a path. Do not say, "It is just one reaction." A reaction repeated becomes a habit. Do not say, "It is just one person." One person can become the center of your mind if you keep feeding them your attention. Do not say, "It is just drama." Drama becomes identity when you live inside it long enough. You must become serious about your inner world. Not tense, not afraid, not paranoid. Serious. A farmer does not let weeds grow freely and then complain that the field gives no harvest. A monk does not let every sound command his mind and then complain that meditation is impossible. A warrior does not leave the sacred gate open at night and then complain that thieves entered. You must guard what you want to grow. If you want peace, stop feeding chaos. If you want clarity, stop feeding confusion. If you want strength, stop feeding the habit of reacting to everything that touches your wound. When you protect your peace, life begins to respect you. Not because life suddenly becomes gentle, but because you stop negotiating with what destroys you. You stop staying in conversations where your spirit is being slowly poisoned. You stop giving long explanations to people who do not want truth. You stop chasing approval from those who cannot recognize value. You stop calling disrespect miscommunication. You stop calling emotional exhaustion love. You stop calling self-betrayal patience. This is the moment your life starts to change. Not when everyone apologizes, not when everyone sees your worth, not when the world becomes fair. Your life changes when you finally decide, "My peace is not available for every disturbance." Say this slowly inside yourself. My peace is not available for every disturbance. This is not selfishness. This is not coldness. This is not arrogance. This is self-respect. Boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are self-respect made visible. A boundary is a sacred gate. It does not say, "I hate you." It says, "You may not enter me in this way." You may speak, but you may not dishonor me. You may disagree, but you may not insult my dignity. You may be upset, but you may not use my nervous system as your battlefield. You may misunderstand me, but I will not abandon myself trying to convince you. You may leave, but I will not chase someone who uses distance as control. This is not punishment. This is order. A temple without walls becomes a marketplace. A life without boundaries becomes a place where every passing emotion can set up a tent. If you do not define what is sacred, the world will treat nothing in you as sacred. Some people will dislike your boundaries. Expect it. The people who benefited from your lack of self-respect will call your self-respect cruel. The people who were comfortable crossing your lines will say you have changed. The people who liked you tired, available, and emotionally easy to move will say you are becoming cold. Do not let their discomfort become your doubt. When the gate closes, those who entered without permission always make noise. Let them make noise. Noise is not truth. A weak mind hears noise and obeys. A trained mind hears noise and observes. A weak mind thinks every accusation must be answered. A trained mind knows that not every sound deserves a response. A weak mind fears being misunderstood. A trained mind fears betraying itself more. This is the second lesson. Stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. There are people who do not ask questions to understand. They ask questions to trap. There are people who do not listen to your words. They listen only for a weakness to use later. There are people who have already chosen a story about you, and every explanation you give becomes more material for that story. You cannot pour clean water into a cup that someone keeps filling with mud. Stop trying. You do not need to prove your heart to people who profit from doubting it. You do not need to defend your soul in a court where the verdict was decided before you arrived. You do not need to correct every lie. You do not need to fight every rumor. You do not need to explain every silence. You do not need to announce every wound. You do not need to justify every boundary. Sometimes the most powerful answer is no answer. Silence is not weakness. Silence is discipline. Silence is what happens when your wisdom is stronger than your impulse. Silence is what happens when your dignity is louder than your ego. Silence is what happens when you realize that words are sacred and not every person deserves access to them. A mountain does not explain itself to the wind. A river does not argue with every stone. The sun does not stop rising because a blind man denies the morning. You do not need to interrupt your path to convince people who are committed to seeing you small. Keep walking. This is hard at first, because the ego wants to be understood by everyone. The ego says, explain, defend, reply, prove, win, make them see. But the soul says, return, breathe, stand, protect, move forward. The ego wants victory in the argument. The soul wants freedom from the argument. Choose freedom. When you protect your peace, you will lose the need to be understood by everyone. This is a great liberation. You begin to understand that being misunderstood is not always a problem to solve. Sometimes it is a filter. It shows you who can hear your truth and who only hears their own projection. It shows you who respects your silence and who tries to punish you for it. It shows you who sees your value and who only liked your usefulness. Do not chase approval from people who cannot recognize value. Some people can hold a seed and complain that it is not a tree. Some people can stand beside a river and complain that it does not move fast enough. Some people can be given loyalty and still crave excitement. Some people can receive your kindness and still call you difficult when you protect yourself. Their blindness is not your identity. A diamond does not become ordinary because the wrong person throws it into the dust. Your worth is not decided by the one who mishandled you. Your peace is not decided by the one who disturbs you. Your future is not decided by the one who underestimated you. But your life can be delayed if you keep waiting for them to recognize what they were never prepared to see. Stop waiting. Move. Your path does not require everyone's applause. A seed grows in darkness. Roots grow where no one claps. The strongest parts of the tree are hidden under the soil. Real strength is quiet, repetitive, and invisible before it becomes visible. This is the third lesson. Do not despise the invisible work. The world celebrates visible power, confidence, success, respect, influence, calm presence, strong posture, clear eyes. But these are fruits. The roots are hidden. The root is the moment you do not reply in anger. The root is the morning you return to your breath before touching your phone. The root is the boundary you set with a shaking voice. The root is the promise you keep to yourself when nobody is watching. The root is the night you choose rest instead of overthinking. The root is the choice to walk away from what repeatedly injures your spirit. This is where power is built. Not in dramatic declarations, not in loud speeches, not in revenge. Power is built in repeated private decisions. Every time you choose peace over reaction, you strengthen your inner kingdom. Every time you choose discipline over mood, you sharpen your mind. Every time you choose self-respect over approval, you build roots. Every time you choose silence over useless conflict, you close the gate to chaos. People may not see it immediately. Let them not see. The seed does not become impatient because the world cannot see the roots. It continues. You must continue. There will be days when protecting your peace feels lonely, because the old version of you was connected to people through chaos. Arguing felt like closeness. Explaining felt like being seen. Chasing felt like love. Worrying felt like responsibility. Reacting felt like power. But when you stop, a silence appears. Do not fear that silence. That silence is not emptiness. That silence is the space where your real self returns. At first, peace can feel unfamiliar if you have lived too long in survival. Your body may miss the storm, your mind may look for something to fix, your nervous system may confuse calm with danger, because chaos used to be normal. Be patient. A person who lived in smoke may cough when they first breathe clean air. Do not run back to the fire because the clean air feels strange. Stay. Breathe. Let your body learn that peace is safe. Let your mind learn that not every problem needs immediate reaction. Let your heart learn that love does not require self-abandonment. Let your spirit learn that calm is not weakness. A trained mind does not obey every emotion. This is the fourth lesson. Emotion is weather. Awareness is sky. Emotion rises. Emotion falls. Awareness remains. Anger may come, but anger is not a command. Fear may come, but fear is not a king. Sadness may come, but sadness is not a permanent home. Shame may come, but shame is not your name. Desire may come, but desire is not destiny. A weak mind becomes whatever emotion is loudest. A trained mind listens, breathes, and chooses. You do not need to suppress emotion. Suppression is not mastery. Suppression hides the fire under dry leaves. Eventually, it burns everything. Mastery means you feel the fire without throwing it at the world. You feel the storm without becoming the storm. You feel the wound without letting the wound speak for your whole life. Pain may explain you, but it must not control your future. This is very important. Pain can explain why you are guarded, but it must not decide that you will never open again. Pain can explain why you are sensitive to disrespect, but it must not decide that you must fight every shadow. Pain can explain why you fear abandonment, but it must not decide that you must cling to those who harm you. Pain can explain your reactions, but it must not justify staying untrained forever. At some point, you must stop building a home inside the wound. You must say, "This hurt me, but it will not rule me. This changed me, but it will not own me. This happened, but I am still responsible for the person I become next." This is not denial. This is power. A warrior does not pretend the wound does not exist. A warrior cleans it, learns from it, protects it, and continues training. If you let pain control your future, the person who hurt you continues to shape your life even after they are gone. Do not give them that power. Return to your own hands. Your future must be shaped by your discipline, not your wound. How do you begin? Small. Always small. When someone provokes you, pause before you answer. One breath. That is enough to begin. When someone misunderstands you on purpose, do not give them a long explanation. Say less. Let your peace speak. When someone disrespects your boundary, repeat it once. Do not decorate it. Do not apologize for it. Do not negotiate with your own dignity. When your mind wants to chase approval, place your hand on your chest and ask, Why am I asking someone else to confirm what I have not yet claimed inside myself? When emotion rises, ask, will this reaction cost me peace tomorrow? This question cuts through illusion. Many reactions feel powerful in the moment. Then they leave you empty. You send the message. You say the harsh words. You prove the point. You win the argument. But later, your body is tired. Your mind is loud. Your spirit feels dirty. Your peace is gone. This is not victory. This is leakage. Do not trade deep peace for temporary ego satisfaction. The ego wants to be right. The soul wants to be free. Choose freedom. When you protect your peace, your life becomes cleaner. Your decisions become cleaner. Your words become fewer. Your standards become higher. Cleaner decisions mean you no longer choose from panic. You no longer say yes because you fear rejection. You no longer return because you fear loneliness. You no longer argue because you fear being judged. You no longer overgive because you fear not being loved. You no longer stay in confusion because you fear starting again. You pause. You breathe. You ask, does this align with the person I am becoming? This question is a sacred gate. If the answer is no, do not enter. Fewer words mean you stop leaking power through unnecessary explanation. You do not announce every plan. You do not defend every choice. You do not reveal every wound to careless ears. You do not waste sacred words where silence is wiser. Words are energy. Use them with discipline. Some words build temples. Some words burn bridges. Some words feed ego. Some words protect dignity. Some words should never leave the mouth until the mind is clear. Speak less, but let what you speak be clean. Higher standards mean you stop calling low treatment normal. You stop accepting crumbs because you are hungry. You stop tolerating disrespect because you are afraid to be alone. You stop making excuses for people who repeatedly disturb your peace. You stop shrinking your needs to fit inside another person's immaturity. Standards are not about controlling others. Standards are about controlling what you allow near your inner kingdom. You cannot force people to be respectful, but you can decide who has access. You cannot force people to see your value, but you can stop placing yourself where your value is repeatedly denied. You cannot force life to be peaceful, but you can stop participating in what destroys peace. This is where life begins to respect you. Because your choices begin to respect you first. Life is a mirror in many ways, not always instantly, not always simply, but deeply. When you keep betraying your own peace, life reflects confusion. When you begin honoring your own peace, life slowly rearranges. Some people leave. Let them. Some opportunities disappear. Let them. Some conversations end. Let them. Some old identities fall away. Let them. Not everything that leaves is a loss. Some things leave because your energy has become too clean for them to survive. The dust is disturbed when the room is being swept. Do not mistake purification for punishment. When you begin protecting your peace, old patterns will resist. They will whisper, just reply, just explain one more time, just check their page, just prove them wrong, just lower your boundary, just accept it, just go back. Do not obey every whisper. A trained mind does not obey every emotion. A trained mind listens like a master listening to a child, with compassion, but with authority. You can say to your mind, I hear your fear, but we are not going back. I hear your anger, but we are not speaking from fire. I hear your loneliness, but we are not begging at the door of disrespect. I hear your pain, but we are not letting pain drive the future. This is how you become your own leader. Most people are led by their wounds, led by their cravings, led by their moods, led by their past, led by other people's reactions. But the one who protects peace becomes led by values. This is true strength, not loud strength, not performative strength, not the strength that needs an audience. Quiet strength, the kind of strength that wakes up and practices, the kind of strength that chooses the hard right thing without applause, the kind of strength that does not need to punish others to feel powerful, the kind of strength that can walk away without hatred, the kind of strength that can be misunderstood without collapsing, the kind of strength that can hold emotion without surrendering to it. This is the strength that changes a life, not in one day, but through repetition, again and again. Return to the breath, return to the boundary, return to the standard, return to the work, return to the body, return to the path, return to yourself. One day, you will notice the storm still exists, but you no longer run with it. Someone speaks harshly, and you breathe. Someone leaves, and you do not chase. Someone misunderstands, and you do not perform. Someone doubts you, and you do not shrink. Someone tests your boundary, and you do not apologize for having one. This is when life begins to feel different. Not because the world became perfect, but because you became less available to disorder. Your peace becomes expensive. Not everyone can afford access to you. This does not mean you become arrogant. It means you become responsible. Responsible for your energy, responsible for your attention, responsible for your reactions, responsible for your healing, responsible for the inner climate you carry. You cannot control the weather outside, but you can stop opening every window during the storm. Close the window. Sit inside your temple. Light the lamp. Return to the breath. This is not escape. This is preparation. A peaceful person is not someone who avoids life. A peaceful person is someone who enters life with a guarded center. Peace is not passive. Peace is a trained power. It takes strength to not react. It takes strength to leave without revenge. It takes strength to say no without guilt. It takes strength to stay silent when ego wants to perform. It takes strength to choose the future over the temporary satisfaction of proving a point. Do not let anyone convince you that peace is weakness. Peace is the discipline of a person who knows the cost of chaos. You have paid that cost already. You know what it feels like to lose sleep over people who sleep peacefully after disturbing you. You know what it feels like to carry conversations that ended hours ago, but still continue inside your mind. You know what it feels like to explain your heart until you no longer recognize your own voice. You know what it feels like to be so focused on being understood that you forget to understand yourself. Enough. There must come a moment when you say, I will no longer abandon myself to be accepted. I will no longer spend my life proving my innocence to people who need me guilty. I will no longer mistake emotional chaos for connection. I will no longer give my attention to what weakens my spirit. I will no longer treat my peace like something negotiable. This moment may not be dramatic. It may happen quietly, in your room, in the morning, after another long night of overthinking, after another conversation that leaves you empty, after another time you realize you gave too much of yourself to someone who gave nothing back, and suddenly, something inside you becomes still. You do not explode. You do not seek revenge. You do not announce your transformation. You simply stop giving access. That is power. You stop explaining. You stop chasing. You stop shrinking. You stop reacting. You stop returning to the same fire and calling it warmth. And in that silence, life hears you. Life begins to respect the one who respects himself. People may test you. Let them. Tests are part of training. When the storm comes, do not curse the storm. Use it to see your roots. If you fall, return. If you react, learn. If you speak too much, become quiet again. If you cross your own boundary, rebuild it. If you lose your center, do not sit in shame. Return. The path is not perfection. The path is returning faster. A beginner loses peace for days. A student loses peace for hours. A trained mind loses peace for moments. A master sees the disturbance before it enters. This is training. Do not compare yourself to the master. Begin as the student. Every breath is a chance. Every trigger is a teacher. Every boundary is a brick. Every silence is a sword. Every clean decision is a step back to yourself. Your inner kingdom is not restored in one moment. It is restored through daily loyalty. Be loyal to your peace when you are tempted to explain. Be loyal to your peace when you are tempted to react. Be loyal to your peace when loneliness tries to lower your standards. Be loyal to your peace when guilt tries to reopen the gate. Be loyal to your peace when people misunderstand your growth. Your loyalty to your peace will change your life. Slowly, your energy will gather. You will speak less, but your words will carry more weight. You will move slower, but your actions will become stronger. You will need less approval, but your presence will become more powerful. You will stop performing, and your truth will become visible. You will stop begging life, and life will begin meeting you differently. This is not magic. This is alignment. When your inner world becomes ordered, your outer choices become ordered. When your outer choices become ordered, your life begins to reflect discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. It protects your future from your impulses. It protects your peace from your wounds. It protects your attention from the world's noise. It protects your standards from loneliness. It protects your life from becoming a reaction to other people. You do not need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. A river does not carve stone by shouting. It carves stone by returning. Return every day. Return when it is boring. Return when nobody sees. Return when you are tired. Return when your emotions are loud. Return when the old pattern calls your name. Return. This is how the invisible becomes visible. One day, someone will try to disturb you and fail. Not because they became weaker, because your roots became deeper. One day, someone will withhold approval, and you will still stand. Not because you stopped caring about connection, because you stopped starving for validation. One day, someone will misunderstand you, and you will remain calm. Not because it does not hurt, because your dignity is no longer dependent on their interpretation. One day, someone will leave and you will grieve without abandoning yourself. Not because you are cold, because you have learned to love without losing your inner kingdom. This is peace with strength. A soft heart, a strong spine, a clear mind, a guarded gate. This is what you are building. Do not let the world rush you. Depth takes time. Roots take time. Discipline takes time. Healing takes time. Self-respect takes time. Peace takes time. But every day you protect your peace. You are telling life who you are becoming. And life listens. Life listens to repeated choices. Not words alone. Not wishes alone, not tears alone. Choices, choices. When you repeatedly choose chaos, life gives you more chaos to organize. When you repeatedly choose self-respect, life begins removing what cannot meet you there. When you repeatedly choose discipline, life begins trusting you with more power. When you repeatedly choose silence over reaction, life begins teaching you the wisdom of stillness. This is why protecting your peace matters. It is not a small personal preference. It is the foundation of the person you are becoming. Without peace, you cannot hear your intuition. Without peace, you cannot make clean decisions. Without peace, you cannot love without fear. Without peace, you cannot work with focus. Without peace, you cannot see truth clearly. Without peace, you become easy to control. Protect it. Not tomorrow. Not when life calms down, not when people finally change, not when your past stops hurting. Now. Begin now. Take one breath and reclaim the gate. Your attention belongs to you. Your reaction belongs to you. Your words belong to you. Your standards belong to you. Your future belongs to the disciplined version of you, not the wounded version. You do not need to become loud. You do not need to prove anything to everyone. You do not need revenge. You do not need to make people regret how they treated you. You do not need to become hard, bitter, or unreachable. You only need to return. Return to your breath. Return to your attention. Return to your discipline. Return to your boundaries. Return to the quiet person inside you who has been waiting for you to stop running after noise. Stand at the sacred gate of your life. Look at what asks to enter. Fear, drama, disrespect, approval, old pain, false urgency. The need to explain, the need to react, the need to be chosen by those who cannot honor you. And say, not everything may enter. This is my peace. This is my inner kingdom. This is my life. Then close the gate without hatred. Close it with wisdom. Let the storm continue outside if it must. Let people speak if they must. Let misunderstanding exist if it must. Let old versions of you fade if they must. Inside, return to stillness. Inside, rebuild the temple. Inside, train the mind. Inside, grow the roots. Because when your peace becomes protected, your life begins to change its posture toward you. You stop begging, you start choosing, you stop reacting, you start creating, you stop explaining, you start embodying, you stop chasing, you start becoming. And one day, you will look back and understand. Life did not begin to respect you because the world became kinder. Life began to respect you because you finally stopped disrespecting yourself. You protected your attention. You disciplined your reactions. You honored your boundaries. You raised your standards. You returned to your breath. You came home, and a person who has come home to himself cannot be easily ruled by the noise outside. Protect your peace, again and again, until peace is no longer something you visit. Until peace becomes the ground beneath your feet. Until silence no longer feels empty. Until discipline no longer feels heavy. Until your own presence becomes the temple you were searching for. Then life will not need to be forced to respect you. It will feel your order. It will feel your clarity. It will feel that your inner kingdom has a guardian now. And that guardian is you.